Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to The Voice of the Times this Tuesday, May 11, 2021. For today's editorial, Trump's power grab opens fissure within GOP. The Republican Party is in the throes of an internecine struggle that could redefine its role in the American body politic, trying to wrest control of the grand old party where GOP are the supporters of former President Donald Trump. Desperately holding their ground are Republican stalwarts that see Trump as the destroyer of everything for which the party stands. The battle is being fought not just in the halls of the US Congress, but in dozens of state houses as well. So far, the Trumpists appear to have gained the upper hand, pillorying party mates who had voted to impeach the ex-president or who refused to embrace the mantra that Trump had been cheated out of the 2020 election. The latest to be purged is Liz Cheney, who is about to be stripped of her position as House Conference Chairman. Her crime, affirming legitimacy of Joe Biden's victory and voting for Trump's impeachment. Cheney has pushed back, accusing Trump of seeking to unravel critical elements of our constitutional structure that make democracy work, confidence in the result of the elections, and the rule of law. 7 months after the elections, Trump still perpetuates the big lie that the vote was rigged in Biden's favor, despite judges dismissing case after case filed, contesting the election results. Trump has used the interim to fuel his followers' growing frustration and anger. He himself lit the fuse on January 6, exhorting the hundreds that gathered near the White House to march to the Capitol to challenge the final certification of Biden's victory. By the time the crowd reached the Capitol, it had grown into a mob, forcing its way inside the building, overwhelming security forces, and hunting for lawmakers to be lynched. The brazen attack galvanized the shaken House of Representatives into filing a second impeachment charge against Trump, this time for inciting violence against the government. 10 of the 232 representatives who voted for impeachment were Republicans, including Cheney, after retreating to his Mar-a-Lago golf resort mansion following his departure from the White House. Trump and his Republican loyalists went to work, firming up plans for taking over the party and converting it into a political juggernaut that would pave the way for his triumphant comeback in 2024. The Trumpian playbook calls for a Republican Party that will be totally under Trump's spell. To accomplish that, the allegiance of every member to Trump must be without question. Pockets of dissent will be quickly dealt with. Acts of unwavering loyalty will be handsomely rewarded. Just how deep the division in the Republican Party runs could be gauged during the midterm elections next year. The Trump loyalists and the GOP holdouts will be fielding their respective candidates in the primaries that will determine the party's official lineup against the Democrat side. So, how did a disgraced president, widely vilified and mocked during his 4 years in office, retain enough clout to wield considerable influence within a venerable 167-year-old institution? Political observers offer a simple answer. Trump has cultivated a formidable voter base that swears fealty to him. Trump garnered 74 million votes in 2020, the second highest ever, behind only Biden's 81 million. It's hard not to be awed by those numbers. These Trump diehards have stood by him through thick and thin, accepting the big lie as gospel truth and absolving him of the January 6th siege of the Capitol. A less popular but nonetheless fascinating answer is that the Republicans are in dire need of someone like Trump to recharge a party whose political influence has been slipping. But in its quest for political survival, the party of Abraham Lincoln has to sacrifice its moral compass and compromise long-held ideals and principles. Our political leaders must follow with a keen eye Trump's progress on his comeback trail. The Biden administration has taken pains to win back the Philippine government's confidence that was strained during the Trump years. Trump's highly divisive immigration policies had impacted Filipino Americans living in the United States, and a Republican-dominated Congress could obstruct the passage of promised military aid to the Philippines. And that's the editorial for Tuesday, May 11, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.